Next up, we have with Pheasants Forever, Matt Gottlob, and he is speaking about a program they are launching with a grant from the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation and Regional Conservation Partnership Program. Matt was actually kind enough to offer to donate a minute or two to Cody, and Cody did not take it. So you're up, Matt.
So the first thing I wanted to share on here today was about our new cooperative agreement that we recently got on the books with South Dakota NRCS as well as the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation. So we've seen the need for prescribed fire here in South Dakota, and with Green Glacier, with woody encroachment marching up the Great Plains. So we're trying to be as proactive as we can in addressing that. So we worked and got some funds lined up. We're going to be hiring on 2 full-time positions here in early 2025. Going to look to base them here in the central portion of the state, focusing where we're going to be tackling that woody encroachment. So we're going to hire 2 full-time staff as well as have prescribed fire implementation team of 6 individuals that are going to come on. The original agreement is for 3 years, and hopefully we'll be extending that even further with the early successes of those programs. So again, big shout out to South Dakota NRCS as well as the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation. So, all right, so through that cooperative agreement, got a few things going on. So you've heard the term technical assistance, and basically what that is help for landowners in any way, shape, or form. So one of the ways that we'll do that, the staff that'll be hired on, will be helping landowners enroll in conservation programs across the state. So we will be focusing, I got a map coming up here shortly, we will be focusing within the Missouri, James, and White River watersheds, but we'll be eligible to do this work not only through our cooperative agreement, but also with our RCPP, which I'll touch on shortly as well. It's a statewide effort, but again, we'll have focal areas within those 3 river watersheds. So as part of that conservation program enrollment, our staff will be working with landowners to develop those prescribed burn plans. And again, it's been drove home time and time again here today about how important those are. So that's going to be one of the big impacts coming out of that agreement. And then we'll also be providing that prescribed fire support. As I mentioned, we'll have the 2 full-time staff that'll be writing the plans. They'll also be out assisting, and again, they won't be the burn boss lighting the match, but they'll be there working with our PBAs and any other efforts here in the state that we can help out for prescribed fire support. So that'll be a big lift as well. We'll also be providing some targeted outreach. So we'll work with our conservation partners here in the state. Again, the focal areas of these projects are going to be within 5 tribal reservations within the state. So we'll work closely with those partners as well as other partners throughout the state. So additionally, we'll help provide some training for professionals, like some of the questions we're talking about, getting some of the NRCS and other professionals here in the state trained up on prescribed fire. A lot of new staff in the state, and we're looking to help support them and grow them in this prescribed fire effort. And again, here is our focal area here in the state. So 15 counties is our primary coverage area. Again, that's our focal area, but we're able to apply these funds both with our RCPP and through our cooperative agreement of working with landowners anywhere in the state, but just focusing along, again, the James, Missouri, and White River watersheds. All right, so that's all about the staff getting on the ground to help with it. Then we saw the need for financial assistance for landowners above and beyond current programs here in the state. So we applied, as Val shared on, as one of the 200 applications across the country. And we, along with the other partners here in South Dakota, were the leaders. So we got 6 of them funded here in South Dakota. And fortunately, one of ours with Pheasants Forever was one of those. So we're going to have just under $19 million in financial assistance for landowners. So again, as Val touched on, we're still sorting out a lot of those details. We're working through the agreements. But sometime in 2025, as soon as possible, I'll make that promise that we're working as hard as we can to get things to the finish line. But this funding will be available to landowners. So unfortunately, that's as much of an update I have on timeline. But no, we're going to be working hard because we see the need and the value of providing these funds to landowners. So we will be following the EQIP cost share rates, and the primary practices of that RCPP are going to be implementing the prescribed burning, brush management, and then prescribed grazing and its supporting practices. So we see the need for those in implementing those core practices to address the woody encroachment. So again, those supporting practices, just a few examples, are livestock pipeline, tanks, fence, deep wells, and many other supporting practices. So go to the next one, please. And again, so more technical assistance. So again, Pheasants Forever, we are the habitat organization, so we're all about getting our field staff out here, which I'll have some quick introductions here in just a minute from about 8 of our staff that are in the room. So we're all about being out there and working with landowners, and we see and recognize the value of grasslands and how the woody encroachment is affecting that here in South Dakota. So through this RCPP, we will be hiring a coordinator to help lead this effort here in South Dakota. Our current team impact is 30 in the state, and by the time the dust settles from all of these, we'll be up to 34 full-time staff, and then that doesn't even take into account the seasonal positions that will be part of this as well. So, sorry, you go back, sorry. And again, we're going to be doing more outreach and targeted promotion, tagging on to all the other conservation efforts from our partners here in the state. As far as landowner workshops, we'll be hosting some of our own. We'll probably do some more of the video shoots. Got some pretty interesting ideas on some of the follow-up to some of that early burning that was going on along the Missouri River, and want to kind of see what that looks like now a few years afterwards. So got some exciting things coming there, and then again telling those success stories of being out on the land and working with the landowners here in South Dakota. Next slide, please. All right, and this map, probably a little hard to see. We do have a hard copy over at our kind of table over here that has the contact information for our staff here across the state. Just got one last slide to thank our partners here in the state that are contributing partners on this RCPP. A lot of them are in the room here today. So South Dakota Game Fish and Parks, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Partners for Fish and Wildlife Program, the South Dakota Association of Conservation Districts, Northern Great Plains Joint Venture, Audubon Great Plains, American Bird Conservancy, Southeast Dakota Prescribed Burn Association, and the River Breaks Prescribed Burn Association. So again, they're going to be contributing either financially or technically through this program. So I know there are a lot of other conservation partners in the state that we weren't able to quite make it work to tie directly into this, but they're going to help sell and promote the program as well. We just weren't able to capture the direct contributions from them on this project. So with that, I got one last slide just with my contact information, and I would take any questions or continue any discussion anybody has.